Hi and welcome to our Funded Trader interview series. In our last video, we talked with Darius from Austria, who told us a lot about himself and how he managed to earn €40,000 payout using scalping only GBPUSD. Now let's deep dive into the details. Are you ready? Let's get started. Can we look now into Darius' Kalaman's strategy and charting?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do so. GBPUSD all day long.
The whole time. So it's really like the beast, GBPUSD, providing strong movements. Yeah, for instance, I can remember right now exactly how I did the trade, because normally I don't tend to use like this tool to mark up like trades that I did. The reason for that is because I just look at the charts. I have just a few points that I'm looking for, and then I just execute. I don't really need to have like this tool. That's just what I want to share when I share that on social media and all these things. I tend to not use that. But basically, for instance, if I explain like what I did on Friday, was a very choppy day, I would say. So just consolidated a lot, ended up with having a loss, and then afterwards a profit trade. For me, it was like that. This is a point here at the top on the higher time frame, which many people will identify as liquidity. And the thing is, when you have like a point like that, the expectation when price is here so at this point to tap that level immediately, many people do expect, hey, we will tap into that level right before. So you have like automatically people who want to buy into this market from this level. So what I got, for instance, here on the daily time frames, I usually don't tend to use the higher time frame that often, because you don't need that. You make there once in a week an analysis to see what happens. Basically, I tend to use all time frames, the major ones that everybody knows, because I want to have like different perspectives to everything, because on every time frame somebody's telling you a story, and at the end they're also overlaying at some point. That's what I'm trying to identify very often. So for instance, here, this is like a classic liquidity level that you got at the top, because you get this trend line heavy here. So many people will have a look at it and say, cool, we got trend line liquidity. So if you're like a smart money concept trader, then you're trying to expect price to run through this. The same you got here on the other side, already traders who try to look for a sell or are buying because of the trendline traders. So that's like exactly the approach I'm always trying to go for. I'm trying to identify these type of traders and to see where they are losing and where they're capitalizing. And that way, the whole chart is forming for me a story. So they're always telling you a story, like, how do we hunt the majority of the system and the peoples? But not really like getting them always stopped out, but putting them in a drawdown. That's like my approach, because I believe that they need to bring the majority of the traders and systems in a drawdown, like those who have the biggest money, and then they can reverse, because then they can put their next buy limit or their next sell limit and to execute these orders. So here we can see pretty aggressively price went down, tapped here in this order block, and after we tapped in this order block, we got this huge reaction to the upside. And we got this reaction to the upside because everything here is liquidity. Okay, so we are pushing up higher. Here you see price consolidated a little bit because it wanted to give them the hope that price is dropping down. So probably in the 4 hours we can see that pretty good. So here you see the push up, taking the trend line actually out, making this fake movement, dropping down, but still pushing into the other direction. So they didn't really give the people the chance to take the buys. Still, they need to bring the market in a situation that also these retail traders do get profits. So for me, the view that I have on the chart is like, they want you to believe that your strategy works the whole time. So they need to give you like this perspective to it. And that's exactly why you have here afterwards this kind of movement, because here afterwards you got like another break, and then it's retesting the trend line, tapping here in some order block, and then pushing from here to the upside. Okay, so now the next target is basically this one, at least for SMC traders. Probably retailers will even make now profits because they see here this resistance trader. So it's always like that. I view that every single day. Sometimes SMC traders do capitalize on the movement, sometimes the retailers. And I don't speak right now for every retailer or every SMC trader, but I speak like for the majority of those traders who are using this strategy, because we can see the numbers, they're super poor when it comes in profitability on these type of traders very often, because that's exactly why the other ones can make money. So I just try to identify all these things. So for instance, right now we are here at the top, and my expectation is we want to take this out, but because everybody is expecting that, I probably tend to expect that price will first go down for a pullback at least before then taking it out. So now if I go to the window where I would like to trade, and I use also like the Asia session to understand how this works, to identify potential liquidity. Sometimes it's liquidity, sometimes it's not liquidity. Also important to identify all these things. Right now, for instance, many people will say, hey, the Asia session high is a liquidity point. So they tend right now to overlay everything to expect price will push up to push down lower. My expectations then, like from the start, maybe this order block, which we just created here, is exactly that one which will protect us so that we will now from here drop down lower. And that was like here the first trade that I took yesterday at 8 o'clock, around 8 o'clock, when I've seen price pushing up higher. I can't remember right now exactly the prices, but I see here also, if I go to M15, can refine this, can refine it to M5 order block. I see that we tapped into it here. We got a source of liquidity here. Take this out, and then price starts to move down. So basically, what I'm also looking for is I want to see people getting like induced, getting the liquidity out of these people. Like here in this particular case, we can see pretty good. We're tapping like in this order block, taking here people out, because also here the same belief systems like on every other ones. You got POS to the downside, people who are believing it will continue to go down lower. You also got like retailers who have here their support resistance levels. That's exactly what price at the end will just take out the whole movement, came into this order block, and then drop down lower. And the funny part of this trade that I took here, I think 3.8 was my entry, so I can go on the M1 time frame. I took it already in the Frankfurt session. Yeah, here. So after I've seen here price starting to move down lower, heading stop loss here above at the beginning, and my TP was definitely here down at 20. And the thing is, price like really moved like into my favor, and I said, cool, about to hit TP. But then suddenly this kind of thing, instead of taking my take profit, which was very close, just went totally against me. And I personally I'm not a fan of putting TP to entry, stop loss to entry, because I believe in my idea. So if I have a trading idea and I believe that this one is true, that one is what price needs to do, then I tend to just hold it. And then what I did in this case was I just put stop loss down lower, because for me it moves like that. That's like the order flow. But that is then at the end taking me out. So it was not a big loss or something, but still at the end a loss. It's not the time that I usually trade here afterwards. But at the end, I took a nice short afterwards, after price went up, taking me out. Was a little bit, I can't remember that good today on the price action, because I did everything just from my phone. So that's like also like the funny part of it. I don't need to have like always my MacBook with me. It's like I see charts, I know the idea, I know the levels where it needs to protect, and I just entered at the end at the next top. I think it was 3.4, something with 3-4 was the entry, and then we went anyway crazy down. I even traded the news that do come then at 2:30, and I closed at 9.9. But I didn't close when the news event was here. I closed here when price made then afterwards the pullback, exactly here 9.9. And then that was like the trade from yesterday. So we can see here one more time, like I did something totally wrong at that day. That's exactly like I probably by myself, I didn't accept my rules. But the thing is, I don't usually trade after 11 o'clock. So I give the charts the time to settle up for the New York session. So the main problem was I just believed that, hey, I'm just going to put stop loss very tight because it should not really come up higher. Still, the idea is valid till this point here at the top. And I just believe that because we didn't went here down lower, that we will come up higher and then lower. And that's why I just wanted to have very small losses for the day, especially when it's Friday. It's not like a day that I enjoy to trade too long. But then after I've seen that, hey, we just took this out, and that's like an usual trap, I said, I have like no other chance. I need to take another trade. So here another nice liquidity grab, and then we dropped down like crazy. News event, and then I just closed. But at the end, yeah, price moved crazy down lower. Just haven't had that on the charts anymore. Still, the closing I would say was pretty accurate. Usually why I do that is like you have your news events, you want to see price like very often respecting that, taking probably even the news candle out, because that's again the most liquidity is available at the top and at the low. Then taking them out and then moving down lower is of course something which can happen. I just didn't want to trade anything, even though here I didn't have any confirmations to re-enter, even though if I wanted to take an entry, yeah, afterwards moving around 100 pips, I think, to the downside, which was quite crazy. Yeah, we all learn out of these situations at the end.
If you have any questions or feedback you want to leave in the comment section below, go ahead and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Do you also consider fundamental factors when you are trading, or you are solely a technical trader?
No, so like fundamentals for me do follow the charts at the end. So at the end, I mean, I can even explain you here exactly, like price tapped in where exactly at this order block, grabbing this liquidity to make this order block valid. So for me, it's like, even though I was aware of the news, and yeah, of course I could like just lose a lot of money at that moment. For me, because of we didn't broke this here at the upside, I was like quite sure, hey, this thing will go down. Of course, I can be wrong at this point, but for me, because we still like didn't grab here something, no form of liquidity from this side, we still needed to grab that, and you can see exactly what we're grabbing from is like this whole trend on liquidity from here, and then it's starting to reverse, and it's like breaking structure to the downside, so here, then also breaking structure to the upside, and that's exactly the trap. That's a classic trap that happens very often. People are just not really aware of that, or don't know how to deal with such a situation. But you see also here very nice how price after it grabbed the liquidity, it's doing what? Some kind of order flow, again making you believe it's going down. And when I've seen this, I said, yeah, cool, that's like future liquidity already. So you got here future liquidity, and now it will not surpass that level. That's going to be considered protected until these will go. Now I need to close somewhere in this range. That's why I closed at 9.9, so a little bit higher. Closed at 9.9, expecting them to get run, and then potentially to come back up where? In this region here, and then to drop down lower to take them out. Because that way, that's like a perfect story. How do you want to take this entry based off smart money concept knowledge, based off retail knowledge? You can only do it on a higher time frame, but not on the M1 time frame, for instance. And that's that's like the game. That's what you need to understand to see, okay, how are they constantly inducing the people on all sides? And can you make up the decision to know, okay, when will that happen and when that? And that's like at the end, really a lot of experience, because also for me, it's like not always that clean to see, okay, that's going to happen. But for me, it was like when I've seen price dropping, I believed at the beginning, hey, let's just close here just to be sure, because you are grabbing here some form of liquidity. I said, no, it needs to go down lower because it needs like to mitigate the positions at the low. So let's just hold it a little bit more, wait for something here, and then it can go for that up move. But still, I like the plan. I could just let my stop loss here and run for the real movement to the downside, but that's not what I wanted to go for. And then I said, hey, it's better to just close here and to see what price is doing. But at the end, that's like what we can see here is a pretty nice example of how price is just trapping people, especially with the news, right? Because the news is like the biggest excuse for the market participants, for the market manipulators at the end, to just do whatever they want, because they will just put the price exactly there where they got the limit orders. Like they had exactly here the limits that was like calculated before, and here what they did is they pushed price up to bring it down. So that's like the process. They need to attract people that they believe, hey, now we go up, break of structure here, blah blah blah. S&C traders say, oh, we're smart, order flow, go down, and then boom, going against them as well. So to really create a situation in the market where everybody's looking at the price and then they're super confused about what happened. And if you can achieve that, then you can get the most liquidity in it. That's what I've seen so far in my years of trading Forex. Because these patterns do occur so often because they are grabbing your liquidity.
At the end, trading volume is also driving prices and price flows. Do you also use game theory or auction market theory about understanding the people's choices who are trading GBPUSD?
Not really. So I was not even aware of these theories, if I'm honest.
It's interesting to listen about your concept and also hear about certain scenarios where people would get out or get in or would close orders, and then you would take an advantage on areas where people would stop out to get in, fill in a new trend, a new trend that is going to form. So yeah. Do you utilize the MetaTrader as well, or you just only trade on your phone on MetaTrader?
I just trade on my phone. That's what I've done so far. So I always tried like to, come on, just use MetaTrader on MacBook or something like that. At the end, MetaTrader 5 is super smart, super nice. Also with the stop loss too, you can on the chart perspective, you can just very easy change it. Yeah, it's super fast, I would say. Also sometimes with the iPad, using it like with the MacBook in combination, you can like use the touch pad to go through MetaTrader. Sometimes I use that as well, but more than likely 99% only on the phone. Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing, Darius. Do you have something else that you want to show me, something you're proud of in your charts that you have taken on TFF?
Well, actually, what I can just say about TFF is like it's I make with you the most profits, because when I take the entries, it's like I'm in, right? So I'm really at these prices, and that's what I enjoy a lot. For me, that's you see it already how I explained it. For me, it's super important that when I take the trade, I want to get that price. I don't want like to, if I enter here in a long, I don't want to be here in the market. That's automatically giving me more potential losses if the ID is wrong. If the ID is all right, okay, I will still make profits, maybe a little bit less. But that's why I really enjoy with you guys. It's very nice service that you're giving.
You know, so, Darius, I also see that you're taking trades at those levels that you described, but sometimes you take multiple trades.
Yeah.
So are you taking on positions up to your first initial winning trade? I mean, for in this example, you get filled in at the lowest point and then the market moves to the upside, you're going to fill in new trades? Or do you manage risk in a different way? How do you maximize your profits? Basically, that's the question.
basically what I'm doing is I'm not even calculating like my loss based on the stop loss itself. So I have like a standard lot that I'm using almost on all my trades. So it's around 25 lots that I'm using. I tend to use like a 5 pip SL max. I'm adjusting my stop loss as soon as I see reactions, because for me it's like very often I want to see price when I enter in the market. I want to see going down. Like for instance here, if I entered here, I want to see it's dropping, and then if I had like stop loss at the beginning here, I can put it like down lower just for me to be sure of the trade. And sometimes I'm like not sure of my entry itself, so I know the idea based on the higher time frame where it needs to go, and I tend to protect the higher time frame idea. So that way I use always from the start like a 5 pip stop loss calculated, because I want to have my higher time frame idea protected. If I would only protect the lower time frame, very easy I could like be getting stepped out. For instance, I have this example here, and let's say I see a price moving down. I say, hey, cool, I got here my trap demand. Price should now not take out the high anymore, and I just enter here, and I would have like just mark that. That's was for me a big problem, because if you start with SMC and so on, everybody's looking for these 1 to 100 risk rewards, which nobody at the end can take in reality, but they do it on MetaTrader. So that's what people believe. You need a 2.2 pip stop loss. If I would get the trade, and yes, of course, till this point here, I would even make crazy profits, and that could be already a nice trade. That's not what I'm looking for, because I never know the moment when price will potentially sweep this. And in this case, it's even sweeping this. So that way, I want to be protecting the overall idea, which would be here. So I have here like from the start around 5 pips stop loss. Now, let's say I believe that price will go down from here, and I think that's already the confirmation, would be a 10 pip stop loss. Then I tend to use on this position, if I'm quite sure, hey, I have a good chance that this will work out now, and I don't want to wait for the trade. Sometimes I'm not in the office, so I cannot really monitorize it, so I'm on the way or something like that. Then I tend to use a lower lot size for that, having a higher stop loss. And as soon as price is giving me a different sign of confirmation, like this one here at the top, for instance, I go with another position. Same like if I get this position here first, 25 lots, and then I say, cool, it's moving into my favor and so on, I may scale in with a second position. But more than likely, I'm not like the fan of calculating every single time the lot size for it, because that just takes time. Plus, the market is moving in 1 pip, in 1 minute like crazy, and then you need to use, instead of 5 pip SL, 7 pip SL, your lot size should be a total different one. So I just stick with the 25 lots for the 160K account with you, which works for me phenomenal that way. If I use like more lots, like 50 lots, and then it goes wrong, okay, then maybe I have like a higher loss at that day, which is totally fine for me sometimes. So I like to be there with my risk. I'm quite confident in my strategy that I'm doing, and I'm ready to lose sometimes more if it's necessary to go to the win afterwards. So yeah, but definitely for me, like using this standard lot size risk definitely changed a lot for me, because I also used this high risk reward thing in the past, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. There was like not real like consistency behind it, and that changed for me also a lot.
Based on what you explained to me, you basically getting filled in at a point of no return, so really efficient entries.
Yeah.
As you know, True Forex Funds provides real market conditions all the way from phase 1 to the funded program. Yeah. And that means slippage may occur because of depth of market, how markets work, markets function. Have you ever encountered slippage?
No, not really.
Okay. You're using fairly high trading volume and low stop losses.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't get filled in at a good entry level like you were, there's basically no return to there where you entered. So it's really efficient. then you might never experience slippage at all, because you are basically, in this case, selling at where everyone is selling. So
Yeah.
you're maximizing your profits.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good to hear that you haven't had any slippage issues, and your strategy is basically really profitable and getting in at the good entry level. I think it's also good for, in a psychological perspective, that when you enter, basically in a matter of few seconds, minutes, you instantly profits, so you can manage your trade better.
Exactly. Also, not like having these issues what I have like with some other accounts. Sometimes like sometimes I'm not putting the stop loss immediately because I want to execute at that moment. So I execute, and afterwards I adjusting my stop loss. And sometimes it's like it's connecting, you know, we all know these issues, but I've never had like these issues so far. So it's like I go into it, I end it, I change the stop loss, everything works fine. And that's definitely what you need, because if you're like trading in this volatile market and you're entering like here and you want to buy and then it's going like this down and you can't put your stop loss, that doesn't feel good at that moment. So that works also super fine.
Wrap it up. You need to find the directional bias, first of all.
Yeah.
Getting down to the correct entry level, and then you have a high probability chance of making profits on a Okay.
So my win rate is quite high. So even when I pass like challenges, I had like 100% a few times, or 70, something like that. So usually like when I passed it, they are passed.
Thank you, Darius, once again. Can you tell us about how did True Forex funds help your funding career?
So basically, like I said, it's like making the life for a trader easier, I would say, because it's like I said, with other prop firms or brokers, even though you have like you have already, I would say, a pretty hard life as a trader, especially in the process when you try to figure out things, and you want like your systems to work at that point, right? So you want, like, when you want to take a trade, get into that specific entry, and to not have like stress also with, oh, do I get payouts, for instance, or do I get the right price, can I adjust the stop loss and all these things. And that's exactly why True Forex Funds was like, when I started again with prop firms, I just choose you. That was around 3 months ago. Got instantly funded with you. I had like very nice experience, payout, everything worked fast. So that's exactly what I wanted, and perfectly. Can only say thank you that you exist, guys. It's really nice. So also, like, I have like my own my students and so on, and everyone just came to you after they seen that I was with you trading, because I said honestly, it's like the best price, everything. The only thing where I would just say is like the commissions are quite high, but I think that's what you need to take, because if you want to get these prices and the service for it, you need to pay these commissions for the trades, and that's basically it. So I would not say this is a disadvantage, but if I would need to say there is a disadvantage, then that would be the disadvantage for it.
Yeah, we appreciate you telling the pros and the cons as well, because that's how we can develop. In order to offer row spreads starting from 0.0 pips, there a standard commission fees applied. So that's how we can get our liquidity providers, who are tier 1 LQ providers, the row spreads all the way to you guys.
Yeah,
but I appreciate your honesty, and we wish you the best of luck, not just for you, but all of your team and your students as well. Any last words you want to tell anyone who was just watching this video recently and want to start trading with True Forex funds?
Well, guys, I would just say just use the opportunity. It may take probably a few challenges for you to pass it. It's just like, for me, even though I'm experienced, I still failed a challenge or 2 or 3. It's like pretty normal. You just need to go for it, try your best, and exactly that process of not giving up will get you to the results. If you're like giving up right now, it's already done, then you're really the loser. But if you're just trying to keep going, at some point you will win 100%. It's just like a matter of time, which will decide when you will get funded with them. And like I said, it's, for me, the best prop firm experience that I have so far. I'm totally honest here. Other ones would just make your life, I would say, harder at the end. But of course, you need to make your own decisions for that. So just go for it.
Okay, thank you, Darius, again. Once again, we had this interview
Welcome.
with Joseph and Darius Kellerman all the way from Metmok, Austria. He made $40,000 in the past 3 months. And if anyone who want to join True Forex funds, now the best time to start trading with a prop firm. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to hit the like button and leave your feedback in the comments below. For more success stories that can help you become a better trader, click here. If you're interested in our educational content, click here. And of course, if you don't want to miss out on any new videos, don't forget to subscribe here. See you in our next video.